Okay, so the webinar is now being recorded. Okay, we can start.
Hey, so welcome everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are. We're really excited to see everybody on this webinar. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for everybody that has put in a lot of work to make sure that today happens. So we're in celebration mode. We're really excited. Why are we so excited? Because the newborn toolkit is 2 years old, and that's really exciting news. And of course, World Prematurity Day is just a few days around the corner, and we've put together this exciting package. We've titled this webinar Looking Ahead, and looking for opportunities for investment and going forward. So we look forward to a really exciting session this afternoon. I promise you that there will be lots of announcements, and we're happy to announce our essay contest winners on this webinar. The essay held a few weeks back, and we'll be announcing the winners today. Next slide, please. So moderating with me today is Dr. Alex Stevenson, and of course, that's the president of the African Neonatal Association. My name is Dr. Olufunke Balaji, and we'll be moderating together. I'll hand over now to Alex to continue. Thank you.
Thank you, Olufunke. And here is our agenda for the next hour. Of course, we're having a birthday party, and the first thing we have to do is celebrate and look back on our little 2-year-old baby. Can you believe? Only born 2 years ago, and look how much they've grown in these 2 years. We're going to hear about how it started and how it's going. And then, of course, what we are truly here to do is to meet the winners, and the exciting announcements that go with that are incredible essay competition. And then, more importantly, looking to the future as we meet with each other and discuss about what we're going to be doing in the short, medium, and long-term future. So first of all, happy birthday, handing over to the Toolkit team, Makorokoto.
Thank you, Dr. Alex, and very welcome to the team, and happy birthday to the Toolkit team. The Toolkit team was actually born prematurely due to demand. We had a journey of development milestones that has been supported by a lot of you on this call and others. And pretty much was because there was a huge demand for resources and a platform where people can find and share and learn from one another. Next slide, please. And so why the premature delivery? So first is we acknowledge that there is a great need and burden for small and sick newborns. 30 million newborns need care per year. If we don't put together necessary interventions for small and sick newborns, which are needed for SDG 3.2, then we're likely to miss that. And we know that the key interventions that are needed, there is a lot of guidance that exists from WHO and other global organizations and guidelines on how to do things. but what is often lacking is the how-to processes of implementation. And that's the reason why the toolkit came together in terms of just pulling things across the WHO health system building blocks, which we've now moved to the WHO UNICEF 10 core components, so that we're able to move together and address the implementation gap. Next slide, please. And the thinking behind the design of the implementation toolkit is that when we asked in a survey on what people needed, is what we had was people needed an easy to access platform for information, how to do tools to adapt them to their local context, opportunity to learn from others and hear experiences of how to make things work, components and steps to implement, systematic approaches of what people are doing and what they are learning, so that we don't reinvent the wheels in a different context. And very practical tools like, if you're putting up a newborn unit, what floor plans do we need? What are the practical data tools are useful, and dashboards and education materials that are relevant to our context? And implementation learnings from other places where people also experience similar challenges, but also implementing innovations that are actually working and that are pretty much aligned to the WHO guidelines and practical ways to implement them. Next slide. So where did we start? Actually, what you see there on the left is a cog that was pretty much almost the near end product. We obviously, when we thought about the toolkit, we first conceptualized it as a handbook, a PDF, or hard copy document that we quickly realized that we need to move with the world and get digital, and went on to a web platform and evolved from a cog with gears, and which engineers told us quickly that wouldn't work because the gears wouldn't move. Ended up with the WHO health systems building blocks with the family at the center, which is the core driver of recognizing that family is very important, even as we put other health systems in place. And now are transitioning to the WHO 10 core components, which includes expanding family and family-centered care to include post-discharge follow-up and linkages to maternal care, and then expanding on infrastructure to include referral systems, and along the way, still continuing to populate the tools and materials that are needed. Next slide. I now hand over to Roland.
All right, thank you very much, David. So my name's Lauren, so up next is we're growing our content. So how did this start? We started with 8 health systems building blocks with family-centered care at the center. And we had over 700 tools and readings with a focus on English language. This platform was co-designed with over 300 implementers. And today we now have 10 core WHO and UNICEF components. So you can see the cog below that David was mentioning. We have over 800 tools and readings, and technical content hosted on the website is now in English and French, with tools and readings in over 11 different languages. And next slide. So we're also communicating more. So what does this look like? When we started, we had a website and we had newsletters. This year, we expanded our social media presence. So we now have LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook. We have several different social media campaigns. So we do weekly Toolkit Tuesdays where we highlight different tools found on the website. And as well, we do Webinar Wednesdays to highlight past webinars, as well as speakers and topics who we've engaged with. So please feel free to join our community. You can scan our code there and sign up to our different social media channels. We also have blogs ongoing in English and French on our website. So we're definitely expanding our communication a lot more. Next slide. And maintenant nous parlons français. So in 2023 in May, we launched the French Newborn Toolkit. So initially the content on the website was in English. We now have over 200 readings, tools, and learnings in French. Webinars now have live translation to French. We've had several feedback sessions with French speakers, and we encourage you to reach out if you would like to see certain resources, tools, or events with the French-speaking community. As well, social media content, newsletters, and blogs have also been bilingual. So we're very excited to continue to expand our language capacities. Next slide. So I'll now hand over to Toby.
Yes, thank you very much, Lauren. Hello, everyone. I'm Toby Watley, and I'm just going to show you a line graph here, which shows the traffic on the website month by month since the website launched in November of 2021. So you can see in 2021, cumulatively, we had 2,413 unique users visit the website, and traffic remained relatively quiet throughout most of 2022, with a total of 10,273 unique users. But then things started to really take off this year with the full implementation of our search engine optimization strategy, and increasing sort of engagement with webinars, newsletters and such. And you can see here the past month just gone, October 2023, many thanks to the essay competition that we held. We had a record number of users all time on the Toolkit website, so a total of 5,000 last month, which takes us to well over double the amount of users compared to 2022 so far in 2023, and that's before the year is even out. So it's really, really great to see such high levels of engagement on the Newborn Toolkit website. We can sort of go into some more detail here about how the Newborn Toolkit website, its reach is growing across the world. So as I just mentioned, we've had over 21,000 users so far in 2023, with a total of just under 50,000 page views. New users by all countries in October 2023, you can see there. So the United States is top, followed by the United Kingdom, India, Kenya, the Netherlands, that was in the top 10 for the first time, Nigeria, Finland, again in the top 10 for the first time, France, Australia, and Canada. And then in terms of French-speaking countries, our top 10 countries were France, Canada, Senegal, Burundi, which I'm sure members of the Chiesi Foundation who are present today will be happy to see, Cameroon, the Democratic Republic of the Congo, Rwanda, Benin, the Ivory Coast, and Burkina Faso. So I'd just like to take this moment to thank you all for contributing to our vibrant community of partners and implementers, and please do continue sharing content relating to small and sick newborn care with us so we can continually drive engagement on the website and share this vitally important information.
Thanks, Toby. I am so happy to see the numbers go up the last month and to hear you attribute it to the essay competition. I think that's just a win-win and wonderful situation. I'm surprised that the #1 country isn't Zimbabwe, because I access the Newborn Toolkit all the time. And I know we all talk about the toolkit, but I strongly recommend people to look at it, especially when you have a problem, when you think, oh, I need to ask a question. Let me ask Joy that question. No, don't ask Joy the question. Go and look on the Newborn Toolkit and you'll see it. So well done to you and us all who have done that work. It is great. We have so much work to make it better. And I think people often ask me how they can help, and I think at the top of my answer for everyone all around the world is that you can contribute to the toolkit, and later on we're going to tell you about how you can, because we just need the resources there. This is our community. So that's our birthday party, the first 2 years, and we've got a lot ahead of us. But now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the winners. So on to the next slide. And here we are, the essay competition, which has been running for some months. And we thought, how can we link these two amazing resources that we have, the Newborn Toolkit and people all over low and middle income countries who actually know what's going on the ground. And we thought, let's ask them to put their ideas ahead about how can we drive forward our mission of improving newborn care in low-income settings and ask them to access the toolkit in the process. We had a whole lot of amazing submissions in English and French. They were slowly whittled down to the long list and then the short list, and now the winners and commended list. So, ladies and gentlemen, with as little ado as possible, I will hand over to Olafunke Bolaje.
Okay, thank you very much, Alex. We're really grateful to all the essay judges from the African Neonatal Association, to the KEC Foundation, to UNICEF, and of course, the London School of Tropical Medicine. It was really exciting to see how we worked together to finally come to the winners of the essay. I can assure us that it wasn't an easy task. We had to deliberate a lot on this. And can I see the next slide, please? Next slide, please. So from the HNA, we honestly want to say that we believe that the future of newborn health care is really in using solutions as found in the Newborn Toolkit. And the way that our winners have brought together the resources in the toolkit have really strengthened our belief. So we're grateful that you did this so excellently well. We're grateful for all the references that you quoted. And we know that if we work together at this level, both at the community level and at the government levels, we're definitely on our way to the top. So once again, congratulations to all the winners. Next slide, please. All right, Alex, I think you're doing the announcements. Go ahead, please.
I am making the announcements. Okay. And obviously, here are our first winners. We had such good essays that we could not restrict it to just one winner. We got down to a stage where there were two essays that were just so good in different ways, but both equally good. So we have two winners in the English category. Spoiler alert, they are both from Zambia. The first team is from the Ministry of Health from Zambia, and we're joined by Rogers Benkele today. Rogers, if you want to turn your video on as well. But it was a team effort. It wasn't just Rogers. There were a whole team from the Ministry of Health of Zambia. And I actually want to talk about the two winning essays, both from Zambia, that when I read them, I knew these two were the ones. But what I knew was that these are people who are working in Africa. These are people who know what is going on the ground. The two essays had very different stylistic, logical approaches to the problem, and we will hear a little bit more about the essays in the future. But what I loved about this project and what I loved about these winning essays is that we were able to tap into the incredible resources that are on the ground. So to the next slide, in Rogers' own words.
A degree in child health nursing, currently working for the Ministry of Health, supporting the Peace Health program. I entered the competition so that I share the knowledge and experience on why it is important to fund programs that support small and sick newborns. And coming with the experience as well as the academic background that I have, I thought of entering the competition and share the importance of the government to support small and sick newborn programs that will help the outcome of the health of the sick infants. Thank you very much for allowing me to participate in the competition.
Unmute. Thank you, Rogers. I have the privilege of giving Joy's voice, and I can basically tell you what happened when we met with the shortlist. Joy said, "This is incredible. I gave this 96 out of 100, and you can ask the people at London School, I am not a high marker." She said, "I thought this was an incredible essay." And that, to tell the truth, coming from Joy Lawn, is probably worth more than £500 or the extra little prize that we're going to give you later. So Ministry of Health Zambia, hold your head up high. I am a little bit jealous, but congratulations. Next slide. The next slide, the next winner and the next slide is also from Zambia, but a very different approach. And yes, here's Leah has turned her video on from I think a mission hospital, a rural district hospital in Zambia, came someone who clearly knows about the problem and has thought about the problem and presented the essay in a chronological and logical sense about how we can reduce neonatal mortality, starting from the community to the community health center, to that whole chain of care through neonatal transport to the lower levels of care to the higher levels of care. Leah, this was an incredible essay. It was actually the first essay I got to read as a marker, and you just set the bar so high. Here you are today. Congratulations. To the next slide.
Hi, I'm Dr. Leah Seaman. I'm a UK medical graduate and did the first part of my paediatric training in the UK as well, before moving to Zambia 8 years ago. And for the last 6 years, I've been based in a rural district hospital here, helping to set up a neonatal service. I wrote the essay because I see on a daily basis challenges with patients accessing the right care at the right time in the right place, which was our theme, wasn't it, for World Prematurity Day 2019. And so I was just interested in looking at low-cost, high-impact interventions that we could maybe try in order to help improve that situation. I wrote it because also I'm just passionate about advocating for neonates, about sharing ideas and information and seeing how we can improve our survival rates.
Wonderful. And yeah, I think I've already talked about this. Highly commended. Leah, I don't think we have you as a member of the African Neonatal Association. You will be hearing from us, and Rogers as well. And thank you for these important contributions. Next slide, please.
Merci. Je suppose que c'est pas Mokhtar Faye, je vais introduire un peu de français. Donc, je suis très ravi de participer à cette cérémonie concernant le Newborn Toolkit et surtout les résultats du concours pour la prise en charge et les investissements pour les nouveau-nés malades, petits et malades. Alors, nous avons eu le plaisir de juger un peu les dossiers, celui qui a été présenté, une excellente proposition qui a été faite par le Burundi, par deux sages-femmes Burundi, avec une idée très originale qui est d'introduire beaucoup plus de soins humanisés pour la prise en charge.
Bonjour, je suis Atungimana Noëlla, je suis burundaise.
Yes. Et donc, l'idée, c'était un peu d'introduire beaucoup de soins humanisés pour la prise en charge du couple mère nouveau-né, en mettant des salles mère nouveau-né dans les maternités et en faisant le maximum pour ne pas interrompre le contact entre la mère et le nouveau-né. Donc, une telle initiative pourrait vraiment renforcer le lien mère-enfant et améliorer le devenir des nouveau-nés de mère, les nouveau-nés de faible poids de naissance, le pronostic de la mère et du nouveau-né. Donc, c'était une excellente proposition, très innovatrice, dont la mise à l'échelle pourrait permettre vraiment d'améliorer les soins aux nouveau-nés de faible poids de naissance. Bravo à l'équipe du Burundi.
Et je suis au Burundi. Je travaille avec la Fondation Amahoro Onlus depuis 2017 à Ngozi au Burundi.
Bonjour, je m'appelle Maria Chiara Angelon, je suis une sage-femme italienne. Moi aussi, je travaille à Ngozi à travers la Fondation Amahoro Onlus. Par rapport au sujet de notre essai, nous avons parlé d'un cas clinique dans lequel une maman qui a accouché par césarienne de jumeaux de 30 semaines n'a pas pu continuer les soins kangourous parce qu'il n'y avait pas une salle dédiée à la surveillance de la maman et des enfants en même temps.
Le réseau de notre candidature au concours, nous avons passé une semaine avec la Fondation QSI qui nous a présenté la boîte à outils et nous avons décidé de nous mettre en jeu état sage-femme vu la situation de notre hôpital d'Ongozi et pour pouvoir améliorer un peu la qualité des soins pour les prématurés. Merci beaucoup.
Okay. If you allow me, I will just do a short summarize of what Professor Faye has said and also what the two authors of this incredible essay, who are two midwives from Ngozi Hospital in Burundi, presented just now. So basically the essay was an incredible essay that is started as a reflection from their direct experience of the two authors from a clinical case, I think it's in English it said. Basically, the two midwives noticed that there is not the same right for small and sick newborn babies to have zero separation from their mothers. So they were suggesting some concrete suggestions, for example, having a room dedicated to mothers who have a cesarean section, a C-section, to stay with their babies and do kangaroo mother care instead of being separated. So it was incredible and congratulations. Félicitations les auteurs. Here we have a quote from Tomomi Kitamura, one of the judges, and she's saying, I'm translating into English for the sake of the English speakers attendees, that this was a remarkable essay written by the two midwives based in Burundi, and it outlined the importance of family-centered care for all newborns, not just the term babies or the ones who are okay for the life outside the uterus, but also for the small and sick newborns. And the author described the importance of working on different aspects of the health system, so strengthening the infrastructure, the infection and prevention control through simple practices, such as the kangaroo mother care. And this would need also to strengthen human resources. And of course, we need to engage leadership and the governance because we need to work at different levels. So this is a great example on how we do not need great technologies to make an impact, but what makes a great change can also be something feasible and easy to put into practice. So congratulations to everyone. I think now I would like to hand it over to Frank, who give us great news for the winners.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Frank Njape. I'm a pediatrician, and I chair research subcommittee of ANA, as well as ANA journal coordination. Our journal is a quarterly peer-reviewing bilingual journal. It's a pleasure for me and a great honor to announce to the winners that their outstanding essay will be published in the journal, in the African Neonatal Journal, in our upcoming issue. Thank you for all participants and congratulations to the winners. And we hope that in the upcoming years, we'll have more participants and of course, it will be more competitive. Merci à tous et félicitations aux gagnants. Merci.
Thank you, Frank. And before handing over to Alex and Olofunke again, I would like also, on behalf of the judging panel, I would like to commend one of the essays that we have received from Burundi, from Dr. Sandrine Mukeshimana. She submitted another essay really important, that is suggesting on how the diffusion of kangaroo mother care in the province, but also across the entire country in Burundi, can make the difference. Je vais le faire en français aussi, au nom de panel de jugement. On voudrait faire éloger un autre essai qui a été écrit par le docteur Sandrine Mukeshimana, qui est un docteur au Burundi aussi. L'essai, c'est un essai très intéressant qui montre l'importance de la diffusion de soins kangourous au niveau de la province d'Angozi, mais aussi qui peut être diffusé au niveau de Burundi. Et cet essai montre aussi encore l'importance des soins centrés sur la famille et de l'importance de faire qu'on n'a pas besoin de grandes choses, mais des petits changements qui peuvent créer un très grand impact. Donc, félicitations aussi à Dr. Sandrine Mukeshimana. And over to you, Alex and Olofunke.
Perfect. Thank you. I'm just going to, while that slide is up, I'm just going to put in another plug. Yep, that is a registered journal of the African Neonatal Association. It's only $50 to publish in there, and it's an open access journal if it's supposed to be an African journal for African researchers addressing African problems. So if you or your students have something that you would like to publish, just hit us up on Google and feel free to submit to our quarterly bilingual journal. Thank you very much. And congratulations to our winners who are going to have their essays published. Okay, next slide, please. So we've had our birthday party. We've met our winners, and we have found out that in addition to their £500 prizes, they're also getting published in the journal, which means it's time to move on to the last stage of our meeting, which is talking to each other, finding out more about each other, finding out about what is coming up in the near future. There's a lot of exciting news coming up. So let's get on with it. Next slide, please.
All right. Thank you so much, Alex, for all the energy, and congratulations to all the winners. The Newborn Toolkit is growing, and as part of our developmental milestone, we are growing and partnering with more organizations. Just a recap of the Newborn Toolkit, we've had about 15 Newborn Toolkit webinars with over 2,000 attendees so far, and all the recordings are available on the website. And we just want to thank you all for the support, for inputting in the toolkit, and hoping that this energy continues in the next year of the Newborn Toolkit. Next slide, please. All right, so we're developing partnerships with some face-to-face involvement. We were at IMNAC in South Africa, INAC in Dublin, GENS, Rome, and we're also trying to get more involved in national pediatric and neonatal societies locally. So if you'd like us to get involved, if you'd like to get the toolkit involved in your event locally, please reach out to us. We'd be more than willing to highlight whatever you're doing on the Newborn Toolkit, as it's a collaborative platform. And we're hoping that in the new year, we have more partnerships and more face-to-face involvement in pediatric and neonatal society communities worldwide. Next slide, please. We want to thank all our family of advisors, how it started mainly with the input of UNICEF and Nest 360, and how it's going. We can see the beautiful array of logos of our organizations and the vibrant involvement of Anna during this webinar itself and just the essay competition. So we want to thank all these organizations that are part of our expert advisory team that we meet quarterly and just discuss on how best we can help the toolkit. And we just want to say that we'd love more organizations to get involved. And if you know organizations that you'd want involved in the Newborn Toolkit, please reach out to us. Next slide, please. All right, so we have a survey ongoing at the moment. So as a second birthday of the Newborn Toolkit, we want to know how best we can improve the Newborn Toolkit and just improve the user experience and learn how to get more input from neonatologists and newborn health workers worldwide. So the survey at the moment has had respondents mainly from Sub-Saharan Africa, and the interests in terms of health system building blocks, many people are interested in family-centered care, information system, infection prevention and control. And we're hoping that next year, in the new year, we have new webinars proposed that highlight the interests of the respondents. And we have orientation sessions where we get to just have a feedback session from the people involved, everyone worldwide, to get more involved in the Newborn Toolkit and see how they can input. And we're just hoping that this grows in the new year. So we have the QR codes for the survey online, one in English and one in French. If you haven't yet submitted your request or your views about the toolkit, please do use the QR codes on the screen at the moment. All right, next slide, please. And now I'll hand over to Dr. Helen Scott from PMNCH to just highlight one of our big partnerships at the moment. Over to you, Dr. Helen.
Hello, bonjour, félicitations for all the winners. What an exciting morning from Canada, where it's still quite early. I'm just so impressed by all of the essays and the thought that went into this, and by the Small and Sick Newborn Toolkit as well. So congratulations and happy birthday to all of you who work so hard on this project and who really dedicate your time and effort to the most vulnerable among us. So congratulations to everyone. I'm really excited to share a partnership that we've started with the team, the Nest 360 team, where we're creating something called the Digital Advocacy Hubs. So this is a hub, an online platform where individuals who are interested in maternal newborn child health advocacy can come together and plan and advocate together as a community. If you're in this community, you know that it's actually smaller than you might think. And there's some very powerful advocates. And our hope is that by having a hub or a platform where we can all meet together, focus really on advocacy, that we can up-level our ability to influence the change makers and decision makers and the people who hold the purse strings, so that we can continue to drive the effort for more investment in maternal newborn child health. So we're really excited that we will be launching this platform, the Maternal Newborn Child Health Digital Advocacy Hub, on Friday this week to coincide with World Prematurity Day, and we invite you to get involved. So come and check out the online platform, see if you see any friends or familiar faces there, and I guess most importantly, come and work with us. We really need all of your guidance and support, and I know that on this call there are some very incredible advocates with a lot of skills, so I hope that you'll come and share those skills with the rest of the community on this newly launched hub on Friday. So thanks very much, and I will pass the screen over to Ben.
Thank you, Helen. Hello, everybody. Bonjour tout le monde. Thank you for having me with you today. And thank you to all the team that's organizing this webinar, from Mbozo to Joy, to Lauren, to Alex, to Olufunke. That's such an honor to be here. I'm here today to talk to you about a partnership and a collaboration that we are working on for the upcoming year between the Incubator Podcast and the Newborn Toolkit. For those of you who are not familiar with the Incubator Podcast, it is a podcast that we started with colleagues of mine about 2 years ago in May 2021. And that started out in English every week, where we would review the latest literature or talk to individuals who were involved in the field of neonatology. And since then, the podcast has grown tremendously, and we have been able to expand the offerings of the podcast. Most notably, we are trying to make the evidence-based practices of neonatology available to as many people as possible. So we have the podcast now available in a multitude of languages. You can find the Incubator Podcast in Portuguese. You can find episodes in Spanish. You can find episodes in Farsi, and then most notably episodes in French, as we were really trying to make information available to the Francophonie and to all the French-speaking countries out there. For 2024, one of the things that we are really deeply committed to is focusing on global health and focusing on the amazing work that is being done by groups like the Newborn Toolkit. And so we've been in touch with Mbozo, with Lauren, and with Joy about seeing how the Incubator Podcast can actually leverage its platform to try to augment and disseminate the work being done by the team. So there are a few ways that we're hoping to do this. And one of the ways is trying to feature the Newborn Toolkit in a new series of episodes that we are launching, which will be called the Global Neonatal Podcast. This will be a special series of episodes that will be co-hosted by Dr. Shelly-Ann Williams-Dakari from the Caribbean, and that will be just focusing on the work being done by neonatologists, nurses, midwives, anybody really providing care to newborns around the world. We're hoping to use one of these episodes to feature the Newborn Toolkit, and we're hoping that the team from the Newborn Toolkit can use this platform to host their own episodes and feature the work being done by partners and colleagues in Africa and around the world. Other ways that we're excited to collaborate is that the Incubator Podcast is looking to launch a mobile application that we're calling the Neonatal Network. This will be a secured application available on iPhones and Androids and any form of actually smartphone. And the idea there is that this HIPAA compliant, so it's a secured platform, will be reserved for neonatal providers, so that they can exchange information, whether it is related to research, whether it is related to general QI and other ideas, and or patient care. The idea behind the neonatal network is really to try to create a community that can collaborate with each other in real time. So, for example, if a physician has a question about a management of a certain patient, it should make it fairly easy for them to launch the app and just start chatting with someone from around the world to say, picking the brain of the community, saying, hey, at what percentage of FiO2 do you guys start giving surfactant when you're using an IMV? Some questions like that we all have. It's always nice to find ourselves being able to collaborate with others, especially considering that the care for newborn has become very lonely. We usually practice on our own, and so it's quite nice. So these are some of the aspects in which we're hoping to collaborate. So look out for these episodes, look out for these interviews, and we will be sure to publicize them both on our website, obviously, and on our social media platforms. We're very excited about the partnership. We're very excited about expanding the reach of the incubator, but mostly to augment the work being done in Africa and around the world for global health. So with that, I will pass it on to Joy. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Ben. So exciting. And what you heard from Ben is that maybe newborn care can be lonely. And one of the things that's really exciting with the podcast is to listen to others. But one of the things that's very exciting with the toolkit is that we can meet and share and go faster together. So normally I'm a professor of numbers, but this is the toolkit by the numbers. And we just wanted to reflect back to when we launched 2 years ago. saying that our whole purpose was to come together for one goal, that every newborn everywhere should have that same chance of survival. And it's now 2 years closer to the Sustainable Development Goal. I'm here in Tanzania, which is going to have to go 2.5 times faster in the next few years to meet their target. So this is urgent. We're so excited that at this 2-year point, we now have English and also en français. Really grateful to the Chiesi Foundation for that. We're also here to support WHO guidelines and the WHO UNICEF 10 core components. And those systems change, as David said at the beginning of this webinar, so important. Sometimes easy to say, but not always easy to do fast. So learning from each other is really critical. During the time that this toolkit has been running, more and more countries are getting serious about their Sustainable Development Goals and their Every Newborn target. And really fantastic in Cape Town this year to see 106 countries committed on combining maternal and newborn care together. Delighted that we have so many tools, and that's both wonderful but also a problem, because it can be overwhelming for people. So we've started drop-in sessions and we welcome your ideas. We want to do frequently used pathways. So for example, if you're thinking, how do I refurbish or design or get a new floor plan? What are the different questions, how to consider that? We could do frequently asked questions and a pathway through the toolkit, and we'd love to have your ideas on that and do that in English and also in French. As Toby showed earlier, we've had this very steep increase in users, and we want that not just to be a blip now, but that there would be more. Not for the sake of the toolkit, but so that we can go faster together. So please do share the newsletters, share on social media, and bring your ideas. We're just at the point of looking forward to next year and thinking about which webinars and what to do and what matters. We'd love to hear from you. So if we go to the next slide, that one of the reasons that we're here together this week with this special webinar is because of World Prematurity Day. And like World AIDS Day, this is important in every country. For World Prematurity Day, we're thinking about 13.4 million babies, 1 in 10 around the world born too soon. And what we're trying to do together is to say that every baby everywhere should have that same chance to survive and thrive. So our voices together are critical. I'm sure many of us will be wearing purple. I'm sorry, I'm in orange today. I missed the dress code, but by Friday in Dar es Salaam, I will definitely be in purple. But we can't just wear purple. We also need to use the data and use the evidence and make the case for more implementation and definitely for more money. The webinar that we did a week ago, we'd encourage you to look at that on film because it really shows the gap for newborns and even worse for stillbirths. Later on today, Align MNH will release the masterclass on Born Too Soon, and we'd encourage you to look at that and to share it. Tomorrow, excitingly, more than 140 authors have come together across 4 countries across Africa and beyond to have a number of papers on really practical learning on implementation, research and tools from the Nest 360 Alliance. And on Friday, as Helen shared, the MNH Digital Advocacy Hub will go live and choosing to do that on World Prematurity Day because this is the top of the global burden of disease. So these are just a smattering of some things. There's also a very exciting event on Friday with WHO and UNICEF. We encourage you to join these. We encourage you, especially where you are, to take action. And we've got a few minutes now, so I'm going to pass back to Alex and Olufunke to see if they want to make some more comments or if we have any questions to take. But I want to end my comments by just thanking everybody and particularly saluting the 3 winners for these prizes. Really exceptional ideas. And what we hope is this time next year, maybe you will have got more profile and also more funding, and things will have changed, especially in Zambia, because you have 2 winners. So I'm going to pass back to Alex and Olufunke with great thanks to everybody and credit to all involved. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Joy, and thank you to everyone. So yes, we are doing well for time. We've got time for a few questions. So please feel free to type questions in the chat or to raise your hands. But I, because I am the moderator, get to ask my first question. And you would think I should know the answer to this, but I don't. So the other day I was speaking to the team in India who do immediate kangaroo mother care, and they shared amazing resources with me. And I thought, these are amazing resources. I must share them with the toolkit, obviously with India's permission. What is the proper way of going about that doesn't involve sending Joy Lorne an email and disturbing her trip to Dar es Salaam?
Mbozo, do you want to take that? I think the email was put in the chat, and it's exactly what we want to hear. Mbozo, can I pass?
Yes, you can pass to me. So the whole point of the Newborn Toolkit is for it to be a collaborative platform. So on our website, we have a submission link where you can reach out to us when you have any resource. So it's for resource and news. Alternatively, you can also reach out to us directly, and we'll be happy to share our email address as well. So we're part of the knowledge management team, that is Lauren, Toby, and I, and would be happy to receive whatever information you'd want us to highlight on the Newborn Toolkit. So please do reach out. It's all there on the website, and also we'll share our email addresses. Thank you.
Great. I'm not seeing any questions in the chat. What we need to do is share the gospel of the toolkit. I was in a Ministry of Health discussion about 3 weeks ago, and all the questions that people were asking and all the jobs that they were giving out, it's all there on the toolkit. You don't need to do the work. It's not all there. A lot of it is there. There are obvious deficiencies in the toolkit, and we can make it better. For instance, around immediate kangaroo mother care, which I'm concentrating on at the moment. But let's get the stuff in one place. We've got a fantastic repository and team. So, yep, I look at the toolkit, think about the toolkit. When you have a question, it's a good place to start. Olufunke, any thoughts, questions, or comments before we wrap up?
Yes, I particularly like the idea that's been given to us today, that as we prepare for our national associations next year, let's remember to get in touch with the toolkit. We'll be happy to partner with us and see what we can do to help us in our individual countries. And of course, the HANA is always there as the link body. The HANA brings us all together, and the HANA does have an official partnership with Nest 360, and of course with the toolkit. So the toolkit binds all of us together. Let's keep using the toolkit and recommending the toolkit. That's just what I'll say. Thank you. Alex?
Great. A few minutes before this webinar went live, I half jokingly said, what could go wrong? A live webinar in multiple countries with video and audio. Lauren, Mbozo, the team, you have done across all sorts of time zones, some of which have daylight saving times and some don't, just to add to the confusion. You have done so well. Thank you so much. From the time that this idea was raised, the team has run with it. It makes me so happy. It makes me so proud. Thank you, guys. You have done so well. Of course, to Joy Lorne and your team, to Nest 360, to Rogers and Leah, and of course to the Chiesi Foundation. Thank you, guys. We're 2 years old. Happy World Prematurity Day.
Happy birthday.
Have a fantastic day. Oh, Joy wants to.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
Okay.
you so much.
And appreciation to
everybody.
ANA.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Merci tout
Thank
le
Bye-bye.
monde.
Thank you. Merci beaucoup. Ciao, ciao.
Merci.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you and bye-bye.
Sipalo, thank you.
Congratulations, prize winners.
Félicitations, merci à tout le monde. Congratulations.
Allez, thank you. Merci. Au revoir.
Au revoir.
Au revoir.
Bye.
Okay, I'll end this now.